Hello, mate. Good to see you again.
Hello, buddy. Yeah, Green Screen Brothers.
Green Screen Brothers. Yeah, we look like the two different sides of a tennis ball.
One of us has had a harder life, that's for sure.
Yeah, I've definitely been played harder. I've got a question for you, and I asked this on stage many years ago. I think it was a UK recruiter event where I was doing a keynote, and I asked everybody in the crowd. I said, "Can you put your hand up if you're doing well when the market was good?" So everyone put a hand up. So who's doing phenomenally well? Put your hand up. A few put a hand up. A little bit of underconfidence in terms of doing that. Who's better than everybody else in this room? No one put a hand up. And I said, look, when the market's good, everybody's a hero. But when the market's down, it's always the market's fault. How is it that you are able to bounce back faster and higher than the market? Because for me, that if you bounce back at the same pace of the market, you're just doing the normal stuff, right? You're the same as everyone else. You're heard. How do you transcend that? How do you do better than the market and everybody else?
Brilliant question. Well, we know some of the brands that we're working with now are absolutely crushing it, and they are. I mean, 60k average NFI for one of the brands that we're working with per person at the moment, and that's a chunky business. We've got businesses who are winning 180 grand upfront retainers. We've got businesses who are just getting exclusive deals now for 60, 70 placements. Now, that's a change, right? That's a change in terms of how they've gone about this. And to do that, but there's a list of things, right? So everybody has become product and solutions driven. So that's the first thing that every business needs to be doing right now. Also, that you need to be marketing led. So you need to turn up your marketing channel right at the front. You also need to be asking the right questions. So insight selling, understanding what your customers are doing, aligning with them and asking them for all of their business. So as Trevor says, you want to nick their whole wallet, not just their lunch money. So that's a different conversation with a different level of person. Tech over talent at the moment. So if you can use the right tech in the right way, you don't need to incur the additional costs of having lots of heads. And obviously, with this change, right, we're becoming more sophisticated in what we're doing. We're moving up the food chain. People aren't using the R word anymore. So recruitment is dead as a word definitively now. It's all about how do you solution with your customer, understanding exactly what that business does and aligning with it. And that will require 180. So everybody needs to be moving to that 180 model. So it's a big old shift. And also it does mean to become that successful in this marketplace, not all businesses are going to be able to do that, and they're going to struggle. Which means, for the great majority, brilliant, because if you are adapting and you are going forward and you are on the front foot and you are looking at the competencies you need, not just because Dave has always done well and Dave has always done 250 and 300 grand. Dave in this market might be totally out of his depth because speccing CVs into the UK marketplace now. Dear God, right? It's just a pointless, fruitless exercise. 180, really strong BD, tech at the front, tech at the back, and people to do the fulfillment. If you can do that, you will absolutely crush it right now. And there's so many examples. We're doing this in February. So we've changed a month. I mean, this is going to be the best quarter, I think, the sector has ever seen. And that's bold, right? That's bold.
Yeah, I mean, it is. I think there were some figures out from KPMG recently. The market's up. Recruitment started to grow. We know it's not all sectors though. There are those out there having a tough time. But for those who are in that, that broadly named tech space, we are seeing, there are losers out there. People who aren't doing what you've just described. And we had that conversation earlier in terms of actually, there are going to be winners and losers. But is this kind of what we were talking about 4 or 5 years ago when saying, there are some low-level operators that are kind of muddy in the water for those who are trying to do things professionally, brilliantly, and come up with new solutions that gives them relationships with the clients. And maybe that mini recession you and I were talking about for ages, where you just kind of scorch the earth a little bit and redistribute what was going on. Maybe that's just happened. Maybe we've just seen that.
Maybe we predicted it. I
think we predicted it.
We did predict it, yeah. But no, we always see we've got more balls than Chris over here, but we can see the future. Thanks for asking me the question, because you know what, that's a really passionate one for me.
Yeah, definitely. No, look, there's no better person to answer that question. So it was a good one to chuck at you.
Get me.